Has our justice system failed a beloved sitcom star? Sony takes Spidey back, a guy wears a TV on his head, Popeye's adding to the menu, and the king of YouTube ties the knot. Welcome to Purgatory. What's going on, freaks and freakettes? I'm Spike.
And I'm Mad.
Thanks so much for tuning in again. Make sure to check us out on all major podcast platforms. Drop us a like on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Send us an email at officialpurgatorypodcast@gmail.com because we love to hear from our listeners. Getting all that out of the way, thank you for tuning in and purging your sins, your weekly trip to purgatory, as we say at the end of the podcast, starting to make more and more sense because, you know, you come here and it's like, I can just spend some time with Spike and Mad. That's what we're here to do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So, I fucking bought this new whiskey, dude. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's called Jesse James whiskey, and it's made by the Jesse James Dupree, that rock singer. It's not very expensive, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like whiskey, and I would recommend trying it. It's not gonna break the bank either.
Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag Jesse James sponsor us.
That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. Like, what would like be one of the sponsors you'd love to have other than G Fuel?
Oh, dude, I'd love to have, I don't know, probably like Red Bull. I think Red Bull's really cool.
Yeah, I can't even drink that shit though.
No, I mean,
I'll be up for like 8 days.
Well, it sucks like when like Ninja has like a whole fridge of it because like he's not gonna finish that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like whenever they sponsor someone, they always like hook them up forever. You know what I mean? They're just constantly sending them like clothes and hats.
There's kids in Africa that would love to have that Red Bull.
But then like I don't know. So far from what I've seen, they're like pretty good sponsors. Like whether it be like Ninja or like BMX riders and stuff, or skateboarders, they've always just like hooked it up. So I don't know.
Hashtag Red Bull sponsor the Purgatory Podcast.
Oh yeah.
Freaks and freakats, reach out to Red Bull, send them our way.
Tag them.
If there's a freak or freakat that works for Red Bull, we'd love to have you on the show. But we kind of got an interesting show planned today. We got all kinds of topics to cover, and we're going to start off with the most solemn one, and then we're going to end happy. But let's start this off. Do you know who Gary Coleman was?
Yeah. I saw him here and there, and then, like, there's a famous clip, like, what you talking about, Willis?
Of course. Yeah, he was a beloved sitcom star on Different Strokes.
Yeah.
And I mean, his career kind of fizzled out after Different Strokes. He didn't have much success after that. I mean, he was on some talk shows and stuff, but that was his peak, was Different Strokes. And of course, a lot of people thought he had more money than he did. It was in the 70s when the Different Strokes was made, and there wasn't a tremendous amount of money for him, especially he was a kid, so they probably didn't pay him as much as other people. That was kind of the peak of his career, and as he got older, his acting career kind of fizzled out. But he still maintained some sort of fame because he was the what you talking about, Willis guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember growing up, he was always like, "Oh, come into Comic-Con. It's this guy." You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Yeah. He was the kind of guy where like he did like appearances. But I was also like I was looking him up since you brought him up yesterday, and I was seeing that like he actually sued his parents for like mishandling his money.
Interesting.
So
you kind of see that with child stars that don't know what's going on with their money. They don't really know what money is because they're children. And their parents are handling their estate. I guess it could be odd. Money changes people. We've talked about it before. Mr. Coleman died a few years ago under, some would say, mysterious circumstances. Did you know anything about this before I brought it up?
No, I actually didn't know he was dead until you told me yesterday.
Yeah.
Which, mind blown.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, he's like a funny guy. You're kind of your average wholesome sitcom guy, And there wasn't any controversy around him. He was he was a stand-up guy as far as everybody was concerned. He had these issues regarding his money and stuff like that, but he never punched a cameraman or a lot of these you know what I'm saying. A lot of celebrities get into some kind of controversy. In 2005, he met a woman on the set of a show, and they met, married, and divorced in the same year. All in the same year, right? And her name was Shannon Price. But they still continue to live together, I guess. And when they would go out in public, they would say we're married, which is very odd, you know?
Yeah.
And he had a will prior to meeting her, but they were only married for a few months, and apparently he hand wrote a note that amended the will and put her as the beneficiary of his will, which is very odd. Like, why would you handwrite a note like that?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the note said, I'm writing this note of sound mind. I'm not being coerced in any way. It was just kind of odd language, you know?
Yeah.
And a few years later, boom, dude's dead. So he died in 2010 in their Provo, Utah home, right?
Yeah.
And there's a 911 call on YouTube, and we're going to link it in the description, but it is bone-chilling if you listen to this thing. So apparently he fell down the stairs, right?
Yeah.
And Shannon Price, calls the police and says, hey, Gary's on the ground. He fell down the stairs, blah, blah, blah. And she makes it a point to say, I had nothing to do with this. You know, like it's super weird language. Like if your spouse is like laying on the ground bleeding and stuff, just having fallen down the stairs, why are you going to say I had nothing to do with this? That's so weird to say to a 911 operator.
Not just that, she was like, oh, like I don't want to go in there and touch him because I don't like blood. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I think that's like the weirdest part.
But then at the end, she's like, I got blood all over me. I'm like, wait, I thought you were scared of blood. How'd you get blood on you? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of a lot of like weird moments in this call. But one of the weirdest things is at 1:55 in the video we're going to link, in 1:55, if you really strain your ears, you can kind of hear him say, "Why'd you push me?" in the background. And it's like, whoa!
I didn't know anything about this, and so you sent me this video, and you can like clearly hear he says like, "Why'd you push me?" in the background. You know what I mean? And then like not just that, like at the end, it seems like he can move. You know what I mean? And she's kind of telling him to like sit down. You know what I mean? Stay down. Don't move. Don't move. You know what I mean? He's trying to. I don't know. It's just really weird. It's
just so odd. Like a loving wife or a loving spouse is not going to leave the room. You know, is not going to be repulsed by their bleeding spouse. Like if one of my family members was injured, they could bleed all over me, dude. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm just saying, maybe I'm an armchair quarterback on this, but I don't feel like that is genuine, you know?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we're not accusing anybody of a crime here. We're just talking about an interesting thing. So
yeah,
there's a lawyer listening. We're not accusing anybody of a crime.
Yeah, it's just more like a cold case kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
I think it's weird how they were divorced and it was finalized, but then they were still seen together. Like they were still living together and like a couple, they would say. You know, I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, they would go out and say like they would go out as married people, and like they were keeping up the appearance of marriage, which is odd. Yeah. Maybe that's like a prenup style thing. Yeah. But then she probably hounded him enough to where he said, "All right, I'm gonna write this handwritten note to amend my will."
Yeah.
You know, because that's so weird. Like, why wouldn't you just go to a lawyer and get your will amended?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. But okay, so the 911 call happens, which is just it's bone chilling to listen to. I know I've used that phrase twice, but whatever. She has to leave the room. His wife leaves him, and she goes and opens the door for the police officer, and then the 911 call ends. But then apparently he died shortly after of the wounds sustained. He was in the hospital fighting for his life, and then she apparently was all about refusing life support and stuff. And when he passed away, she claimed that she wanted his remains for a locket that she would wear around his neck, and she had him cremated like days, like really, really fast after his death. He was cremated, which of course you can't do another autopsy, you know?
Yeah.
Did I say autopsy? My freaking mouth is not working today. Sorry. But it's just really weird. Everything surrounding this is like, whoa, holy shit. And then you look even more into their relationship, right? So they moved to Utah in the fall of 2005, And according to a tally in early 2010, officers had been called to assist or intervene with Coleman more than 20 times in those 5 years. And in one instance, Coleman called the police for help after he claimed he'd taken dozens of painkillers and wanted to die. So Gary's dealing with some mental illness here.
Yeah.
But some of the disputes also involved price, and apparently there was some domestic abuse going on. So it's a bad relationship all the way from top to bottom. But then there's a huge legal battle for his estate, and as far as I know, it's still kind of halfway ongoing.
Oh, really? To this day?
Well, it was in court for a while, and the ruling says that Shannon Price wanted his estate, which there was that handwritten note, right?
Yeah.
And then since they divorced, the court was like, well, you're not married. But she said they continued their relationship, and they lived together for years, which said, oh, then that means we're common law married, which that's not a thing. The court rules that they were old enough to marry and they were capable of doing so, but they didn't. Like, they made a conscious choice to not remarry, you know?
Yeah.
So the state rules against her. And then, as far as I know, his estate is controlled by his family still. And he sued his parents at one point for his money, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it just sucks, you know. This guy he was a child star and had a very, very grim end. You know what I mean?
Seriously, he really did. It sucks because I knew this guy and I was aware of who he was, but then like I literally just found out he died yesterday. And
he's been dead for years.
Yeah, he's been dead for like a decade now, or coming up on it. Mm-hmm. But it just seems like if she didn't kill him, there's just a lot of coincidences, you know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of loose ends, and it's just like a strange circumstance.
Yeah, and where the hell was the news?
Yeah,
like, nobody
exactly.
knew.
That's what I'm saying.
They talked about, like, people still talk about Prince dying.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Michael Jackson and everything.
Yeah, like, where was the news for Gary Coleman? He just died, and that was it. I don't know. I find it crazy.
I just think it's weird how no one really picked it up, and I guess, I don't know, like the internet wasn't as big as it is today, so yeah. I guess that could also factor in.
Well, a lot of people even a lot of millennials don't even know who Gary Coleman is.
Yeah.
And I would say that mostly millennials control the internet. You know, millennials are the YouTube age. Most YouTubers are millennials, you know?
Yeah.
And like it or not, YouTubers essentially control news at this point. So maybe it's just people aren't concerned about a sitcom star from the 70s.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like this is a cold case file if I've ever seen one.
Mm-hmm. It just sucks because, like, there really isn't much to go off of, you know what I mean? Because, like, the only thing we have at our, like, disposal are, like, the 911 calls and, like, the police reports. But outside of that, I haven't really seen, like, any of his, like, friends come out, you know what I mean, and say, like, oh, this is what I think.
You can't put somebody in prison for their tone on a phone call.
Exactly.
You know? So it's probably never going to be any other resolution than what's already happened.
Yeah.
But I just find it interesting that let's cremate him as fast as possible, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if she didn't do it, then I guess it's just a big coincidence, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's just so many things that are like, what?
Yeah, it's like this is interesting, and
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just glad she didn't get everything, you know what I mean?
For sure. Well, we can say that, but what if it was totally a coincidence and we're just complete assholes?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
they weren't married. They did.
Yeah, she still beat the shit out of him.
And he did say, "Why did you push me?" So that's there's that.
Dude, okay. So you sent me the video, and I'm watching it, and I go to the comments, and this guy says, "Dude, 155." Click on it, and I clicked on it, and it's like, "Why did you push me?" And I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
It's so, like, it sucks because, like, those are, like, pretty much his final words. You know what I mean?
That's fucked up. This is why I am a fan of ranch-style homes with no stairs.
Dude, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Like,
that joke didn't land.
Well, no, I was gonna say, like, it just sucks because, like, it would suck for, like, your significant other to, like, be the one to take you out of this world. The person that you trust, you know what I mean? And that you, like, sleep with next to, happily hoping that they would want your best interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't meet, marry, and divorce somebody all in one calendar year. That's probably first red flag. you know?
Oh, for sure. I just feel bad for him because I feel like it was one of those situations where he was like, oh, I haven't found anyone else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, I'll take what I can get.
I hope he wasn't thinking that way. I mean, she's not bad looking. She doesn't look like your typical gold digger, though.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I don't know what a typical gold digger looks like.
Potato. I'm just fascinated with how, like, I didn't know this even happened. And then, you texted me yesterday. You're like, hey, did you know about the Gary Coleman cold case?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, not at all. And then I was like, oh, no, he's dead? And I was like, oh, no, she killed him? And I was like, I don't know. It was just like a really bad, like,
allegedly.
Allegedly killed him.
Well, most likely. I don't even, like, yeah. She hasn't even been charged with anything. That's like an internet allegation. But so I don't even think this guy was worth that much money, because there's an interview with him where he talks about how much he was making on different strokes, and he was making like $70,000 an episode, which in the 70s and 80s, that's quite a bit of money. Mm-hmm. But I don't think this guy was a multimillionaire, you know. And when you look at the house, it's not a nice house. It's like you're kind of just like a 3-bed, 2-bath, unfinished basement style house. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the basement was unfinished. It just looks like that kind of house in that kind of neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And it could be your classic case of, I married this guy for his money, and where's the fucking money? Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Where's that different strokes money? And then, I don't know. I mean, it makes more sense to me that if she did do it than if she didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it would baffle me if we had a crystal ball and we could look into it and know for sure. Mm-hmm. I would be shocked if she didn't. I'd be like, whoa, all of that shit, all those dominoes were just complete coincidences, you know?
Yeah. If you guys haven't like heard the phone call, we're gonna like link it in the description. Go click on it and tell us what you guys think. But I think for us, we're not gonna say it, but I think we both know what really happened.
We both allegedly may or may not think what happened.
Yep. Amen, brother.
I think that covers our asses. Yeah. This is all satire. This is all just satire. We're just having fun, shooting the shit.
We're just guys being dudes. Discussing cold cases that may or may not have been done or not.
It's weird because you remember a few years ago, you know who Patton Oswalt is?
Yeah.
His wife, his late wife, wrote a book about the Golden State Killer, like this serial killer. And this guy, the Golden State Killer, apparently killed people like decades ago. Yeah. And his wife, Patton Oswalt's late wife, wrote this book before she passed away. And the book created like a new interest in this person. Then the cold case file got brought back up. They looked back into it and they fucking caught him.
Oh, like, really?
Yeah, like a long time after he had done these things.
Dude, that's awesome.
Decades. It's weird. Cold cases are not... I mean, obviously the chance of catching the perp goes down every day. Yeah. You know?
I mean, the evidence starts getting, decaying more and more and more.
Right, but it's not unheard of that something like this surfaces.
Yeah, I used to love watching that. There was a show, I don't know what channel it was on. It was called Cold Case. I don't know if you ever saw it, but
yeah, it was like a Murder, She Wrote type thing.
Yeah. So like she would go into like a file room, grab a file. She would go interview everyone, and then like at the end of it, like it was a cool show because like it would show what happened in the past, and then at the end when they would find like the killer, they would show what actually happened, and then like they're taking the person into the station, and then it starts flashing, and it'll be like the person back then, and then the person now. You know what I mean? Mm. And then like you see like the person's friend that died, and like you see them back then, you see them now. It was really cool. It was really well done. But I've always been fascinated by cold cases. Like when you told me about this one, I was like, damn. I was like, that's crazy.
I remember seeing ads for that cold case show. It was on like CBS or something. Yeah. And I listened to another podcast by one of my favorite YouTubers, General Sam, and he was talking about this one that was recently solved where it was a rapist that had gotten away with some things, and it was the cold case person, like you're talking about, went into the room, pulled the file. They still had a DNA sample or something, and the cold case officer just sent the DNA to like 23andMe.
Yeah.
And they came back with these are the person's living relatives, you know. Mm-hmm. So the cold case lady calls calls all these living relatives and is like, hey, did you have a relative that gave off bad vibes? And they were all talking about, they all pointed to this one relative, and she visited that relative, and they interrogated him and fucking convicted him.
No way.
Yeah.
That's fucking, that's so cool. Like, I don't know, like the ingenuity that took, you know what I mean? That they were like, oh, we should do this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because apparently when you do one of those 23andMe things, your DNA is entered into a big database.
Yeah.
You know? So that may be a way that they can catch perpetrators in the future, is they're getting a larger and larger database of all this DNA from 23andMe tests. That's one way to think of it.
That's pretty cool. Well, I took some like Batman-esque stuff.
It's so simple to be like, let's just send this into 23andMe, you know?
Yeah.
But then again, who would think of that? It's so simple but so brilliant at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you got one of those brilliant minds, Cold Cases might be the place for you. And pull this Gary Coleman file, your first one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want justice for my Gary.
Dude, that's a t-shirt. Justice for Gary.
Justice for Gary.
Seriously. Why are we sleeping on this fucking thing? Utah?
I mean, that's why. It's Utah.
What?
Utah's, I don't know, dude. They don't. When was the last time you saw Utah like in the news or for like anything?
Yeah, but they're all really nice there because there's a lot of Mormons there.
Yeah.
And Mormons are really nice.
Oh. Is that a stereotype?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm lumping Mormons in as nice
to be
people.
Nice.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yes. You know what?
Purgatory Podcast canceled.
Yeah. Twitter. Paint me with that brush. I called Mormons nice. Dude, the other day I had some Mormon kids knock on my door. And it was like 105 degrees outside. And they were like, have you heard the good news? And I'm like, yeah, dude. You want some water? Because you're fucking soaked. Yeah. And they were like high school age kids. And I was like, dude, here's some ice water. And they like gulped it down like they'd never even seen water before. Like that dude in SpongeBob that's like, food, water.
Or like, yeah, SpongeBob himself was like, I don't need it.
Yeah,
I need it.
But like, yeah, they had like these nice button-up shirts on, and their collars, I'm sure at one point were nice and folded right, but their collars were just soaked and all crumpled. And I felt so bad. Felt so bad for them. I'm like, first of all, you're evangelizing in a very already evangelized area, you know?
Yeah.
There's like 5 churches within a couple miles of my house, you know? So everybody around here has probably already heard the good news, buddy. But hey, they were nice kids. Gave them a glass of water.
From Gary Coleman to Mormons.
Only on the Purgatory Podcast. But yeah, dude, we're going to head into a quick break, and we'll see you on the other side. We'll talk about some more lighthearted stuff, including Spider-Man, Popeyes,
and Pewdiepie.
How's it going, everybody? This is Spike from the Purgatory Podcast. When Matt and I decided to start this podcast, neither one of us knew kind of where to start or how to distribute it to different platforms, and that's when we came across the Anchor app. Now, Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast because they give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your computer or your phone. Different creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great, and this was the kicker for me, they'll distribute your podcast with no minimum listenership to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and several more. Now, there's really only one more thing left for you to do if you're looking to start a podcast, and that's get out your phone, open your laptop, download the Anchor app, and go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, Madman, welcome back from the break. Still there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm good.
Got you. Okay, all right.
Let's laugh now, because we cried enough in the first segment.
Well, this one is gonna be that. This one won't be funny. All right. This is actually a serious matter. Okay.
Okay.
We got Sony taking Spider-Man back from the MCU. So I know you're not a big Marvel guy, like comics or movies. But if you guys don't know, back in the day, Marvel wasn't making a lot of big bucks. So they had to sell out a lot of their assets, but just like for movie rights and whatnot and merch and stuff. Back in the day, Sony had actually bought Spider-Man from Marvel, and they made like the Tobey Maguire movies and like the Andrew Garfield movies. But over the years, Marvel/Disney had been acquiring some of these back one by one, so they could kind of like have like have them all together. Mm-hmm. And so Sony wasn't gonna sell Spider-Man because Spider-Man's like the superhero. You know what I mean? When you think superhero, people think Spider-Man. So they decided to like make a deal where it was like, hey, we'll make a movie together. You know what I mean? It'll be our character with like your money and universe. And so it was all working perfectly fine, everything like that. And then Sony just announced that they want him back. Disney wanted 50-50, and Sony was like, no, like we don't want 50-50. We want like more. You know what I mean? They just kept asking for more. And then Disney was like, well, we'll just buy the character. I think they said like $1 billion. And then Sony was like, no, like we're not trying to sell him off. So right now there's like a huge dispute over it, and like people were like boycotting Sony. I think it was like announced like 2 days ago, and all over the trending tab on Twitter was like boycott Sony, or like get Spider-Man back, or like
why
all these things.
Why would people boycott Sony? Why is that a bad deal for Sony to just go back to? Explain to me that.
Well, because so they had given us Spider-Man, right? And then so the whole past 10 years have been setting up this major plot point in the Marvel movies, right? Mm-hmm. And then now like the whole Marvel universe is gonna take place around Spider-Man now. That's the whole next giant push, like the next 10 years. And then now Sony's just backing out and kind of fucking over the rest of the universe. You know what I mean? So like pretty much it's just
because they're seeing the buckets of money that Marvel's bringing in.
Exactly. So they're saying like, that could be our buckets of money.
Yeah.
So but I mean, so Sony's done it in the past where they've made 2 Spider-Man movies and they haven't really led anywhere. You know what I mean? They kind of just like died off in their own way. And
Spider-Man 3 was ass.
Yeah.
That last Tobey Maguire one with the emo Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, like Marvel's pretty much saying like, let's just like make money together. You know what I mean? And then they like Sony's like saying like no, we want the money for ourselves. You know what I mean? We want all the money.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So I mean, that's where it comes down to. But people are saying now that this is all just like a publicity stunt. I'm seeing a lot of that on Reddit and Twitter. People are saying, wait a minute, we have like this, it's called D23. It's when like Disney covers like the next like 2 or 3 years what's going to come out, you know what I mean? Whether it be Star Wars, Marvel, or just like Disney in general. So people are saying that they're trying to create hype, you know what I mean? And then like at the end of the show, they'll bring out Spider-Man and say like, oh, like we made a deal, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean that's the whole big thing right now. Sony's saying we're gonna take Spider-Man, and then Disney's saying why, and then people on Twitter are just fighting. Like right now, people are like defending Sony, and people are defending Marvel. That's the whole thing. That's pretty much it.
I don't know. That seems odd. I get it now. Like as soon as Marvel starts making a shitload of money, now Sony cares.
Yeah.
You know, I remember in like the early 2000s, the Spider-Man video games. Those are pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, but Spider-Man has always been a Marvel Comics character.
Yeah. One of Stan Lee's last words to one of the comic book creators was like, take care of my boy. You know what I mean? Because that was like his baby. You know what I mean? That's like what he made. So that's like one of his famous last words. And then like it just sucks to have like, oh, we can't use this character in this movie because this company won't let us. You know what I mean? So like Disney's just trying to get everything together. Like, cause like imagine like a Justice League movie without Batman. Because another company owns it, you know?
Yeah, I think that Marvel could just pay whatever.
Well, I mean, no, that's the thing is that Sony's like not taking deals. Like Disney's been offering to buy them, and they're just like no, because we know like in the long term we'll make this, you know what I mean, 7 times over.
We'll see. I mean, if they keep pissing people off and nobody buys the PlayStation, whatever, the next one they come out with, then they might change the tune.
Well, which sucks because like those are all just like different departments, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Sony movies is different from like the PlayStation Sony, and that's different from like Sony cameras, and that's different from like Sony computers, and that's different from like Sony phones. So like I don't know, they're really just like fucking over the other Sony properties by like just being, I guess, not really selfish, but I don't know.
But let us know in the comments. Are you Team Sony or are you Team Marvel? Let us know. If you play a PlayStation, we hate you already. So don't no. No. But seriously, Xbox is where it's at. If you are a gamer. So let's fight about that in the comments.
I think we all know where it's at. I think PC is where it's at.
That's true. But the console wars, I am fully on the Xbox side.
Oh yeah, console wars. I've always been Team Xbox forever. Yeah. It's
Team
like no
Bill
contest.
Gates. I've always thought about.
Bill Gates, my boy.
I've always thought about like, what if Apple came out with a gaming console?
Well,
as many Mac fanboys as there are, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's always been rumors that like, what if Apple buys Sony? You know what I mean?
And then it'd just be like a tech titan, like.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, but like, just Apple and Sony are both like about being sleek. You know what I mean? Apple's had their toes in like different like things, so now they would have like their toe in gaming. But
yeah, Microsoft has tried to do that some with like the Xbox One and stuff, and like making it more sleek. But I kind of liked the old Xbox, how it was like a giant fucking crate. You know?
Yeah. People always want like
the controller was huge, like a lunchbox, and it was just this clunky thing. You know, I almost like the gaudiness of it, like how big it is.
Yeah, people hate like how big and square it is, but like, I mean, are you planning on taking this everywhere with you? You know what I mean? It's a stationary device, so I don't mind it being big, because then like it lessens the chance of it like falling off. You know what I mean?
Well, like with the PS2, the PS2 Slim especially, that was so tiny. It was like I was plugging all these wires into like this little tiny box. You know, I almost didn't like the PS2 Slim as much as the standard big ass PS2.
The problem with us in the PS2 was that I would play with it, but I'd be like, you know, like I'd be spazzing out while playing, and I'd pull the controller back. It would just like yank the PS2 with it, and I like broke 2 PS2s like that growing up.
Wow. Oh man. Bet your parents are happy about that.
They were like, "What the fuck, dude?"
No, that's their exact words.
So I've always been Team Xbox over PS4. I mean, I have all three of them: PS4, Xbox, and Nintendo.
Oh, nice.
But I definitely use the Xbox the most out of all of them.
I've heard really good things about the Switch. Like everybody that has a Switch loves it.
Everyone loves it because the games you can't get on like Xbox or PS4. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like the Pokemon universe.
I've been very like, I don't know. I used to love Nintendo, but then like recently, I've just been kind of like, I don't know.
Well, you've been gaming on PC lately, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, not just that. I just mean because like people will always like hold like Nintendo up to a god tier.
But they're just fanboys, and they're looking past the faults of the platform.
Exactly. I had the Switch and I thought it was great, but the Joy-Cons, you know, like the controller things that like come off.
Mm-hmm.
It were just like, we used them like for a good 3 months, like brand new, and then like they started getting like really like wanky would be the word for it, I guess. And wanky, yeah. Like I don't know, like what, like kind of like, I guess laggy. I don't know. They were just being like they weren't as accurate as before. And then like there was like a big like lawsuit about it, and like now they're offering to fix them, but like, okay, you're gonna fix them, and then what? It breaks again in 3 years. I mean, in 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't understand. Like, I think they didn't solve the problem. They just put like a Band-Aid on it, and then people are just like, oh yeah, they're gonna fix our. And I'm like, okay, well, it's just gonna break again. So I think like the Nintendo fanboys are kind of dangerous.
Fanboys in general are kind of dangerous.
Yeah, true.
But tell me about this fucking dude that was wearing a TV on his head that I keep hearing about.
Let me tell you about this guy. I don't know if you guys saw this or like, I don't know. It was, I saw it everywhere. It was in the news.
Yeah, it's all over.
It was all over the place. It was all over like Snapchat. It was all over Twitter, Instagram. Okay, so the title is "Human Dressed as a TV Trolls Town by Leaving TVs on People's Porches." So this dude's wearing like one of those early 2000s like clunky TVs on his head with like the glass on the front, everything like that. So it's got to be heavy as hell. Mm-hmm. But people posted a lot of Ring cameras clips on like they were sending it to the news, and they were sending it on Twitter, and they were sending it everywhere. And this dude just like walking around this town leaving CRT TVs, the big ones, and on people's like front porches. And he would like, if he saw a camera, he would look at it and kind of like wave or like do a little dance and like drop it off. But like this happened like, when was this? Like on August 13, I think. And no one's come out and said, "Oh, that was me," or no one's come out and said, "Oh, this was a promotion for this." You know what I mean?
So it's like a viral story. It's fucking everywhere.
It's just like freaking weird. You know what I mean? There's no explanation. This is all we have. There's no motive.
Yeah, there's no reason for this.
People are saying he wants to be known as a TV Santa Claus. I don't know. That's what he says at the end. I don't know.
Do they work? Do the TVs work?
Yeah, they have wires and everything. He's just leaving them.
Maybe he's just like really passionate about not liking flat screen or LCD or LED TVs. Yeah. He's all about that old school with the bubble screen, dude.
Yeah, he's like wearing like a mechanic's jumpsuit as well.
Yeah, I saw the picture that Keemstar posted.
Yeah,
it's just what the hell is going on? I think about the logistics of this, right?
Yeah.
So he probably left dozens of TVs. So he collected these things.
He left more than 50 of them.
Jeez. So that's more than one trip. So that's more than one trip.
Do you have a truck with you, or do you have some kind of like cart you're pushing on? I guess I don't know, dude.
If you did it in one trip, it's got to be like a U-Haul size, you know. Yeah. That's crazy.
I was gonna say, but then if he did have like a U-Haul, I would think someone would have caught him on tape. You know what I mean? But I don't know, like that. Like nothing else has come out. Just that this dude loves leaving TVs.
And he's completely harmless, right? Like he didn't hurt anybody's property.
Yeah, no, he didn't do anything bad. He literally just walked up, put a TV down, and then walked away. Like there was no like he was walking around the premises. He just literally just went up, dropped it off, maybe waved a few times, and then just left.
Did anybody see him in person? Like did somebody's dog bark and then they looked out the window and saw him, or was it?
No, it seems like it was like in like the middle of the night, and it seems like one of those like neighborhoods where like people just sleep at like 8, you know?
Okay.
Well, I mean, it looks like one like it looks like a pretty wealthy neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's over in Virginia. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No one like a neighborhood where people have jobs.
Well, pretty much. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know. Well, just because like I know like when I would go trick or treating, I go to like the rich neighborhoods, and they'd be like lights out at 8.
So this is the kind of neighborhood that they're giving you full-size candy bars.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. Hell, you know what? I think it's funny as hell. I would like keep the TV. And put it and make it a thing. Make it into a coffee table.
I'd buy like a mannequin and like cut off the head and put the TV on there.
That's even better.
Find my boy or something. I don't know. But I don't know. I think it's a cool story. I want to know who this man is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I wonder like maybe he doesn't want to come out because like the police will like arrest him for trespassing, I guess. But it's not really trespassing. But who knows?
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. There's not really much more to talk about because he just put a bunch of TVs on people's porches.
Just walked up the porch, dropped it off, and I'll see you later.
Yeah. And then you texted me about this, and we text back and forth throughout the week on stuff we want to talk about. But you texted me, and you were really excited about apparently Popeyes is adding to the menu, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm not excited, all right? This is, okay, I'm surprised you didn't hear about this, okay? So, on Twitter, someone posted a list saying something like, okay, if these companies are supporting the re-election of Donald Trump, so if you don't want to support that, don't buy these things. And it was like, bang, the energy drink. It was like Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A and like all these other companies, right, that support the re-election of Donald Trump. So
how are they supporting his re-election?
I guess they like pay for like his campaigns and stuff. You know what I mean? The company overall. So people were like, "Oh, I'm not gonna eat at Chick-fil-A anymore. I'm not gonna drink Bang anymore. I'm not gonna do this or this." And that's fine, you know what I mean? Believe what you want to believe, but right. I don't care.
People have been boycotting Chick-fil-A forever.
Yeah,
because they're a Christian company and they didn't endorse gay marriage and stuff. But Chick-fil-A is still doing fine. So apparently the boycotts didn't really work.
Well, I like to think someone like goes on Twitter like, "Oh man, fuck Chick-fil-A," and then like you look up and they're like at like a Chick-fil-A like drive-through. But anyway, so then like Popeyes took this opportunity and they said like, we have a chicken sandwich, wink, wink. You know what I mean? Kind of saying like, we're the best chicken sandwich in town.
So this was tongue in cheek, right? They said like, we have a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, but
it was a jab, right?
Yeah, but then like, I don't know if you ever seen like Wendy's Twitter, and they were like, no, we got the best chicken sandwich. And then like, we got the best, you know, all these corporations and the Twitters were like, we got the best sandwich. And
were they making it political, or were they just doing it as like a meme?
I think they were doing it as a meme, but then the people of Twitter made it political.
I hate that. You can't even have a chicken sandwich without politics anymore.
Put that on a t-shirt, dude.
Put what on a t-shirt? You can't have a chicken sandwich
without politics. Fuck.
Yeah. A little wordy, but I think it might sell.
It's a little big, but you know.
I know where it would sell, at Popeyes.
Yeah, I guess. I've actually never been to Popeyes.
Their red beans and rice are apparently fire.
Yeah. I feel like there's none. Sorry. Fuck. I feel like there's none really around here. You know what I mean?
There's one in my town.
Oh.
Right down the street.
Oh.
I never go, but it's right down the street.
Copy.
I don't know if there's any in Kansas City proper, but there's some in my town.
Yeah. Or I feel like whenever I do see one, it's like very like unappetizing looking.
It's
like the windows are foggy and like I don't know, there's like broken bottles right in front of the door.
Yeah, you're like walking past bums and stuff.
Like, you know, I'm good. I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A.
You're like feeling heroin needles crunching under your feet. Like, oh, I'm not eating here.
Yeah. That's it. That was the final straw. But yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. I'm just surprised that you didn't know about it when you told me. When I told you, I mean, and then I just think it's funny. I mean, you put it in the best way possible. You can't have a chicken sandwich without politics anymore.
Yeah, I'm fucking sick of it. And it's right, left, center, whatever political party. It's like sometimes I just want to fucking not
have a chicken sandwich. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And we had one more story, right?
Yeah, the last one on a chopping block. The king of YouTube himself. The man, the myth, the legend. The one that brought Minecraft back. He's Swedish, just like the fish and the meatballs. But PewDiePie. Oh yeah, and IKEA, especially IKEA.
Yes.
He got married finally.
Yeah, it's about fucking time.
Seriously.
They've been together a while.
A long time. I'm pretty sure like a majority of his time on YouTube has been with her.
She seems to be a very nice woman, and she has I think she left YouTube, but she had a large YouTube channel of her own.
Yeah, if you go on her Instagram bio, she has like her own clothing brand kind of thing going on.
Makeup, right?
Yeah, I think so. The only thing that I saw was clothing, and like she has this like brand where they make like pots and pans. Not like what's it called? Like flower pots.
Pottery.
Yeah, I guess. But she has this like company called like Tasuki, and like it's literally like in his bio. I guess he's like supporting her, which is really nice.
Isn't she into anime too, like he is?
I think so. I'm not sure.
I don't know. We're kind of getting in the weeds here, but the point is, fucking PewDiePie tied the knot with Marcia, and we wish them both the very best because I'm a fan of both people. I'm a PewDiePie fan. And this is probably one of the highest profile weddings in YouTube history, you know?
I'm surprised that like a lot more YouTubers didn't go, you know what I mean? He probably didn't invite them at the end of the day.
I don't know, because he has been in a bunch of media controversy recently about apparently being a white supremacist and shit. And which I don't believe for a second.
Oh yeah, you know? I mean, I don't think anyone that actually watches YouTube does either.
I think a lot of YouTubers may have not gone because they just don't want to be associated with him, I guess. He's still dealing with the fallout of what he said when he was streaming PUBG. You know?
I saw him recently on like the Anything for Views Max Mofo podcast, Cold Ones. And I don't know, he just feels like he's not a big like YouTube friends kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like he's like, well, yeah, we're associates. You know what I mean? And like we're this, but we're not.
So he's like not mixing business with pleasure, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think personally. I mean it could be the other way around, but it just feels like because he is like I guess quote unquote friends with like iDubbbz and like H3. You know what I mean? He's in that genre, but you just never see him like hanging out with them if it's not for a video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's transcended that though, and I don't think he really has any YouTube peers anymore because of how huge he is. Fucking massive, dude. Yeah. He's about to hit 100 million. He'll probably do it within the next day.
I think he already did.
Did he?
Yeah.
I looked this morning and he was 99,700,000 or something. It was like 250,000 away.
Oh shit, okay. I could have sworn I saw like a headline like this past weekend. Maybe we just said like close to it. But
let me look.
I wonder Social Blade. I already got it right here. It's 99,765,200 284.
Yeah, I'm looking on Social Blade and it says 763,000. So he may be gaining subs so fast that just the time that you and I see, this is weird. On August 15th, it says minus 1,971,855 views on his channel. Does that mean he took a video down?
He might have.
Well, how can you have negative views?
Dude, I don't know. I don't run Social Blade. Oh, is he live right now? No, he is live right now. No, live subscriber.
That's his live count.
Yeah. I think it's crazy how you can see right here, estimated monthly earnings, 2.2 million.
Holy
A+.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I would never do anything. I wouldn't leave that. I wouldn't go shopping. I would pay someone to do that. You know?
Well, I mean, nowadays you can get your groceries from Amazon groceries, or you can get your computers from Amazon. You know what I mean? We live in an age where you don't need to leave your house ever again. As long as you have the money.
Mm-hmm. There's somebody that we work with that they have all their groceries delivered to them through Sam's Club. Mm-hmm. You know, so they really have no reason to leave the house other than to get their oil changed and stuff. But apparently, you can pay a mechanic to come to your house and change your oil in your freaking driveway.
Nice.
So that's cool.
Yeah, dude. Money talks. I feel like you can get anything done if you have enough money.
But yeah, man. So congratulations to Pewdiepie and Marcia. What do you think, man? We're about tapped out.
Oh yeah, we covered death. We covered corporations fighting, both movie-wise and food-wise. Mm-hmm. We covered a beautiful wedding.
Yeah.
And a man that just loves to give TVs.
Yes, we did. Which, by the way, folks, we love to give you content. So subscribe. You like how I segued there?
Oh, that was perfect. That was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, subscribe, like, and share because we love to give you content. And all we ask in return is a subscription, maybe a share, a like, a comment, because we love to hear from you. And we just passed 1,200 YouTube views, which is pretty cool. You know, getting up there. We got a few more subscribers, so we're at 25. You know, living large, 100K, here we come. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I would love to do like a 100 subscriber special. You know what I mean?
Like have that one kid that went camping outside and his
yes. I love how I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. He has 40 million views.
Yeah, he's like,
and it's like some little chubby kid that just went camping for. It said 70 subscriber special.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna eat my beef jerky now. I don't know. Amazing. Where is that kid now? Yeah, I mean, I hope he kept going, making more videos.
Yeah, he does. He has a channel. He has like a couple 100,000 subs, and he posts a couple times a week. I think he's a full-time YouTuber.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's a reason for everything, folks. That's the moral of today's story. Except for Gary Coleman's death. There's no reason for that. Rest in peace, Gary. We're having a hard time ending this thing, aren't
we? Yeah. But you guys know what it is, what it was, what it's gonna be. Like, favorite, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And keep tuning in for your weekly trip to Purgatory.